The pressure started behind my eyes first. That slow building squeeze you feel right before something inside you finally breaks. My sister Dana stood in her kitchen, one hand resting on her barely noticeable bump, the other gesturing at me like I was a problem to fix. "Quit your job," she said, her voice cheerful as if she was offering me a gift. "Focus on the kids full-time, and we need $300 a month for rent. It's only fair 3 years. 3 years of waking at 5:30 a.m. to manage her 4 children. 3 years of packing lunches, driving carpools, mediating fights over Pop-Tarts while she worked nights and slept through mornings. 3 years of draining my savings, every cent from my failed bakery on their school supplies, their doctor visits, their lives, and now she wanted me to quit my only income, pay her for the privilege, and raise a 5th child that wasn't mine." The fluorescent light above the sink flickered briefly, casting Dana's face in momentary shadow. In that moment of stuttering light, I saw her clearly. Not my older sister, not family, but a woman who had mistaken my love for endless tolerance. "No," I heard myself say, "my name is Brianna. I'm 26. A failed bakery owner turned coffee shop barista turned design student running on 4 hours of sleep. This is the story of how I stopped raising someone else's family and finally started building my own life." Dana's boyfriend, Marcus, leaned against the counter, arms crossed, that familiar smirk tugging at his mouth. "Come on, Bri. We're overloaded at work with the baby coming." I said no. The word landed heavier the second time. Dana's expression changed. Confusion first, then something darker. Betrayal. As if I'd wronged her by refusing to vanish into her chaos completely. "You're living here, eating our food, using our space," she said, her voice sinking to that dangerous quiet. "You owe us." I thought about the 10 hours I spent each day on her children. Owen, 15, with his eye rolls and sarcastic armor. Maddie, 12, who cried into my shoulder when her friends excluded her. Jace, 9, who asked me 300 questions before breakfast. Little Ruby, 6, who wouldn't fall asleep unless I braided her hair and told her stories about brave girls who saved themselves. I loved them. God forgive me. I loved them like they were mine. But they weren't mine. And Dana was standing here, hand on her 5th pregnancy, acting like my entire existence was a resource she could assign. "I'm moving out," I said. The silence that followed felt tangible, a held breath in the stale kitchen air. Dana laughed, a short, sharp sound without warmth. "You're joking. I have savings. I've been looking at studios downtown." The words came quicker now. 3 years of swallowed frustration. Finally finding an exit. "I'll still help with the kids, but I'm not quitting my job. I'm not paying you rent. And I'm not raising another baby." Dana's face hardened into something I barely knew. "If you're not all in, maybe you shouldn't be here at all." I walked to my room, my hands shaking so badly I could barely turn the doorknob. Behind me, I heard Marcus mutter something to Dana, probably about how ungrateful I was, how selfish. I didn't care. For the first time in 3 years, I didn't care what they thought of me. My laptop sat open on my desk, a half-finished logo project glowing on the screen. I'd missed another deadline. My professor had emailed twice. My dream of running my own design studio felt like something I'd imagined in another lifetime back when I still had time to imagine things. I called my best friend Kennedy that night, pacing the cramped bedroom while Dana's voice echoed through the thin walls. "She actually said you owe her." Kennedy's voice crackled with shock. "Bri, you've been her unpaid nanny for 3 years. I know you've spent your bakery savings on her kids' stuff. I know. And now she wants you to quit your job and pay rent. Kennedy, I know." I pressed my palm against my forehead, trying to push back the headache forming there. "I'm finished. I'm looking at apartments tomorrow." Kennedy was silent for a moment. Then, "Good. It's about time." The next morning, I drove the kids to school like usual. Owen sat shotgun, blasting music too loud. Maddie complained about her math teacher. Jace asked why the sky was blue, then why water was wet, then why dogs couldn't talk. Ruby sang a song she'd invented, completely off-key and absolutely perfect. When I pulled up to the elementary school, Ruby grabbed my hand. "Aunt Bree, you look unhappy." I forced a smile. "I'm okay, sweetie. Just exhausted." She nodded solemnly like she understood things a 6-year-old shouldn't have to understand. "Mommy makes you tired, huh?" The accuracy of it nearly shattered me. I spent my lunch break at the coffee shop scrolling through apartment listings. Studios downtown ran about $1,500 a month. Steep, but manageable if I grabbed extra shifts. My savings could cover the deposit and first month. After that, I'd be living paycheck to paycheck, but at least I'd be living for myself. Dana barely spoke to me over the next week. She communicated through silence, pointed sighs when I left for work, cold shoulders when I returned. Marcus followed her lead, vanishing to the garage whenever I entered a room. The kids noticed. Owen started intercepting arguments between his siblings before I had to. Maddie asked softly if everything was okay. "Changes are coming," I told her. "But I'm not going anywhere." "Not really?" She didn't look convinced. I found a studio near downtown with windows facing a small park. Standing in the empty space, I could almost feel the absence of chaos. No cartoon blaring from the TV. No kids screaming about whose turn it was. No Dana demanding more. Just silence and possibility. "I'll take it," I told the landlord. Telling the kids was harder than I expected. Owen's jaw tightened when I explained I was moving out. "Because of Mom," he said, "not a question. I need my own space, but I'm still here for you guys always." Maddie cried. Ruby asked if she could come live with me. Jace looked puzzled, like the concept of adults needing their own lives hadn't occurred to him yet. "Who's going to help with my homework?" he asked. "I will, just differently." The night before I moved, I sat Owen down and walked him through the basics. How to start the washing machine, where Dana kept the grocery money, what to do if Ruby's asthma flared up. He took notes in his messy handwriting, shoulders hunched like he was accepting a burden he shouldn't have to carry. "She's supposed to do this stuff," he said quietly. "Mom, I mean. I know. She never does. I know that, too." He looked up at me then, and for a moment, he wasn't a sarcastic teenager anymore. He was a frightened kid whose aunt was the only stable thing in his life. "Don't forget about us, okay?" I pulled him into a hug before he could protest. "Never." My studio was small. Just a mattress on the floor, a desk for my laptop, and boxes I hadn't unpacked. But when I woke up that first morning without an alarm, without 4 kids needing breakfast, without Dana's presence pressing against every moment, I cried. Relief, exhaustion, grief for the years I'd lost. All of it. 3 days later, my phone rang. Unknown number. "This is Officer Delgado with Madison PD. We've received a complaint. Can you come down to your sister's address?" My stomach dropped. I drove across town, my hands clenched on the steering wheel. When I arrived, 2 officers stood on the porch while Dana gestured wildly, her voice carrying across the lawn. "She stole $500 and trashed our house. The washing machine's broken, the couch is ripped." Officer Delgado raised an eyebrow at me. "Ma'am, your sister is alleging theft and vandalism." I didn't take anything. I kept my voice steady despite my pounding heart. "I moved out clean. Search my car, my apartment. I have nothing to hide." The second officer, a woman with short gray hair, examined the supposedly damaged couch. "This tear isn't recent. There's old staining underneath." She moved to the washing machine, checking the connections. "Loose wire. Could be wear and tear." Dana's face reddened. She knew where the money was. Mom. Owen's voice cut through the chaos. He stood in the doorway, arms crossed, wearing an expression I'd never seen on him before. Something between fury and weary resolve. Mom's lying, he said flatly. That couch has been ripped since last summer. Jace spilled juice on it and tore it trying to clean it up. The washing machine broke weeks ago because Mom overloaded it. And the money? He laughed bitterly. She spent it on groceries and lottery tickets. I watched her do it. Dana's mouth opened, closed, opened again. No sound came out. Officer Delgado's pen hovered over his notepad. So there's no theft, no recent damage. None. Owen's gaze locked on Dana. Aunt Bree's been more of a parent than either of you. She paid for our stuff with her own money. She drove us everywhere. She helped with homework every single night while you slept or worked or whatever. And now you're trying to get her arrested because she finally stopped letting you use her. The silence that followed was crushing. Dana turned to me and for one moment I saw something crack behind her eyes. Recognition maybe, or shame. Then her face hardened again. Get off my property, she said quietly. All of you. Officer Delgado sighed. Ma'am, filing false reports is a serious matter. We'll let this slide, but don't call us again unless there's an actual crime. I hugged Owen before I left. You didn't have to do that. Yeah, he said into my shoulder. I did. 2 weeks passed. My apartment started feeling like home. I picked up extra shifts, submitted my late design projects, slowly rebuilt the discipline I'd lost during 3 years of chaos. Kennedy came over with wine and helped me hang curtains. I started sleeping more than 4 hours a night. Then Owen called. Mom's in the hospital. Something with the pregnancy. The doctors say she needs bed rest. Like months of it. His voice shook. Maddie's crying. Ruby won't stop asking for you. I don't know what to do. I closed my eyes. Every instinct screamed at me to stay away. Dana had tried to destroy me. Had literally called the police with false accusations. She didn't deserve my help. But Owen's voice, Maddie's tears, Ruby's tiny hand squeezing mine at school drop-off. They weren't Dana. I'll be there tomorrow, I said. Yeah, but I have conditions. The next morning, I walked into Madison General and found Dana's room. She lay pale against white sheets, monitors beeping steadily. Marcus had made himself scarce. No surprise there. I'll help with the kids, I said, standing at the foot of her bed. 3 months until you deliver and recover. But I keep my job. I keep my apartment. And I'm not paying you anything. I'm doing this for Owen, Maddie, Jace, and Ruby. Not for you. Dana's jaw tightened. For a moment, I thought she'd argue. Old habits die hard. Then something in her deflated. Fine. One more thing. I stepped closer. After this, I'm done. You find childcare. You figure out your life. And you stop treating me like I exist to solve your problems. If you pull anything like those police accusations again, I'll disappear completely and I'll take the kids' trust with me. Her eyes glistened. Whether from hormones or genuine emotion, I couldn't tell. I didn't mean, yes, you did. You've always meant it, Dana. Every time you asked for more, expected more, took more. You just didn't expect me to finally say no. She looked away. The monitors beeped into the silence. Okay, she whispered. The next 3 months were brutal but different. I helped the kids after my shifts, teaching Owen and Maddie to share household duties. We established routines that didn't depend on me. I cooked dinners that could be reheated, showed Owen how to check Ruby's inhaler, helped Maddie create a homework schedule. Marcus disappeared more and more. Late shifts, he claimed, but his gym bag appeared by the door and his phone stayed glued to his hand. Owen noticed. He noticed everything. "He's going to leave," Owen said one night while we washed dishes. "He's been acting strange for weeks." 2 weeks before Dana's due date, Marcus proved Owen correct. He packed his things while she slept and was gone before morning. No note, no explanation, just emptiness. Dana called me sobbing. He left. He left. Part of me wanted to say good riddance. Part of me remembered being 29 and alone and terrified. "Focus on the baby," I said gently. "Focus on getting through delivery. We'll deal with Marcus later." I hesitated. "The kids will deal with it. I'll help them process." "But Dana, this isn't my crisis to solve. You understand that, right?" Silence stretched between us. "Yeah," she finally said. "I understand." Dana delivered a healthy boy in early March. I visited the hospital once, held my new nephew briefly, and felt none of the obligation that had trapped me before. He was cute. He was Dana's responsibility. The day she came home, I helped Owen carry groceries in, then stood in the doorway one last time. "I'm done," I said. "I love those kids, but I can't keep being your backup plan. They have my number. Kennedy's going to help coordinate visits, but I need to build my life now, Dana. The one I put on hold for 3 years." Dana sat on the worn couch, the baby fussing in her arms, dark circles under her eyes, without Marcus, without me, without the support system she'd assumed would always be there. She looked smaller somehow, diminished. "I know I wasn't," she stopped, swallowed. "I know I wasn't fair to you. I kept thinking you'd always be there, like you didn't have your own stuff happening." It wasn't an apology. Not really, but it was the closest Dana had ever come to acknowledging what she'd done. "I did have stuff happening," I said quietly. "I just stopped letting myself want it." She nodded, not meeting my eyes. The baby squirmed. "The kids are going to miss you." "I know. I'll miss them, too." I picked up my bag, "but I'll miss them from my own apartment with my own life, building my own future. That's the difference." I walked out without looking back. Kennedy set up a system, video calls twice a week, occasional weekend visits supervised by her rather than Dana. Since she coordinated the visits, and often chatted with the kids, she picked up bits and pieces about how things were going at home. I sent $50 a month for school supplies and whatever the kids needed. Owen texted me pictures of his math tests. Maddie sent sketches. Jace called to tell me about his science projects. Ruby still asked for bedtime stories over the phone, and I told them every time, making up adventures about brave girls who learned that saving yourself wasn't selfish. My freelance work picked up. A classmate connected me with a small business needing a logo. That job led to another. Then, a website redesign for a cafe downtown. By summer, I had 4 steady clients and enough income to quit the coffee shop entirely. The first time I deposited a check larger than my old weekly wages, I sat in my car and cried. Not from exhaustion this time, from something that felt terrifyingly like hope. Kennedy gave me updates on Dana when I asked. Marcus had moved out of state. Owen mentioned Dana was working with a lawyer about child support, but nothing had come through yet. The call center let her go. Too many missed shifts during recovery. Her neighbors stopped coming around. The house grew quieter, emptier, without Marcus' presence or noise to fill it. "She's struggling," Kennedy reported one afternoon. "I know. She's been asking about you. Says you owe her for everything she did." I laughed. A real laugh, the kind I hadn't managed in years. "She can keep asking." My studio walls were covered in mood boards now, color swatches and logo sketches and client feedback. I'd hung Maddie's drawings next to my professional work. A reminder of what I was creating and who I was creating it for. Not Dana, not obligation, not guilt, just me. Finally, impossibly me. Last month, a Madison startup hired me to design their entire marketing campaign. The project took 6 weeks of late nights and endless revisions. But when I submitted the final files and saw the payment hit my account, I felt something I'd nearly forgotten existed. Pride, real, earned, mine. Owen called that evening. He's 16 now, taller than me. Still carrying too much weight on his shoulders, but his voice has changed. Calmer somehow, less angry. Mom's doing better, he said. She actually cooked dinner last week, like real food. It was strange. Weird good or weird bad? Weird. Good. I guess different. That's something. He was quiet for a moment, then. Aunt Bree, thanks for leaving. I blinked. What I mean, thanks for not staying forever, for showing us that you can love people and still choose yourself. He paused. I've been thinking about that a lot. About how you could have just kept doing everything for us, but you didn't. You left and we figured it out. My throat tightened. You guys figured it out because you're amazing kids. Yeah. Well, I could hear his shrug. We had a good teacher. After we hung up, I sat at my desk staring at my laptop screen where a new logo glowed. Sleek, bold, exactly what the client wanted. 3 years ago, I was folding someone else's laundry at midnight, too exhausted to even imagine. Now I had clients, savings, a lease with my name on it, and a nephew I could love from a healthy distance. Dana still texts sometimes. Short messages, oddly polite, like she's not sure how to talk to me anymore. I respond when I feel like it. I don't when I don't. The guilt that used to crush me, it's quieter now. Not gone. I don't think it ever fully disappears, but quieter. Because here's what I finally learned. You can love people completely and still refuse to vanish into their needs. You can help without drowning. You can choose yourself without being selfish. And sometimes the best thing you can teach the people you love is how to survive without you. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for staying around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you need to try audiobooks. I've got an exclusive deal with Audible. Your first month is completely free. That's access to over 500,000 titles, zero cost to you. All the details are waiting in the description. Don't miss this one.